On First at 9 this Monday, the 20th of October 2025. Crime crackdown. Newly established Proceeds of Crime Investigation Division inaugurated at former police headquarters. Underworld. Gampaha Baba reveals another murder plot by Kehel Baddara Padme. 3 suspects arrested for sheltering fugitive Ishara Sewandi remanded until October 24th. Extreme weather. Severe weather to continue. 3 fatalities reported. 18 train services cancelled, including up-country night mail. Call for reform. Sri Lanka advocates for clearer commercial debt restructuring processes at the 2025 IMF World Bank meetings. Calls for greater transparency and guidance in debt management.
Homelands Expo 2025 Property Investment Forum and Exhibition. Join us on 11th October, Hilton, Colombo, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 0710 111 444.
From Derana, this is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening, you're joining First at 9, brought to you by Sri Lanka's most trusted news source, Derana. I'm Tharidu Mahendra, joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. In your top story this evening, Deepavali, the festival symbolizing the spiritual victory of light over darkness and good over evil, is being celebrated today by Hindu communities around the world. In Sri Lanka, the Hindu community marked the occasion by engaging in religious activities and illuminating their homes.
Diwali, also known as Deepavali, is the festival of lights celebrated by Hindu communities across the globe. The celebration symbolizes the spiritual victory of Dharma over Adharma, light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance, as represented by Lord Vishnu's victory over Narakasura. During this radiant festival, people decorate their homes with lights, lamps, diyas, flowers, colorful rangoli, and candles. Today, Hindu devotees across Sri Lanka celebrated the festival by lighting oil lamps and participating in Deva Pujas. President Anura Dissanayake extends his wishes to Hindus in Sri Lanka and abroad for Deepavali, emphasizing national unity and peace and reaffirming the government's commitment to combating drug abuse, organized crime and extremism while ensuring safety, justice and well-being of all citizens. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya also issued a statement highlighting Deepavali as a symbol of light triumphing over darkness and drawing parallel to Sri Lanka's emergence from a period of economic and social hardship. In the meantime, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa urges people to use Diwali to conquer evil and promote goodness through virtuous actions, emphasizing that the festival's true message is to guide society from falsehood to truth and ignorance to knowledge, fostering a more enlightened community.
The newly established Proceeds of Crime Investigation Division was inaugurated today at the old police headquarters building in Colombo. Participating in the inauguration ceremony, Minister of Public Security and Parliamentary Affairs Ananda Vijayapala stated that the new unit was established to thwart the illegal acquisition of assets.
The Proceeds of Crime Investigation Division was inaugurated today at the old police headquarters building in Colombo. The inauguration ceremony was presided over by Minister of Public Security and Parliamentary Affairs Ananda Vijayapala and Inspector General of Police Priyantha Veerasurya. This new division is being established for investigative purposes in accordance with the provisions of the Proceeds of Crime Act No. 5 of 2025. The main objectives of this act are to establish provisions for the investigation, prohibition, seizure and disposal of proceeds of crime and establish an authority for their management. In addition, it aims to assist victims of crime and retrieve assets acquired through crime which are being held abroad.
The Act has been drafted so that its provisions will be effective retrospectively, allowing authorities to take action on offences committed prior to its enactment. If someone is in possession of assets acquired as proceeds of crime, this Act provides a framework for the legal measures that can be taken in that regard. There are occasions where we cannot determine the financial value of some assets. For example, consider a wedding ceremony ceremony held at a cost of 50 million rupees, where the expenses were paid with illegally obtained money. In this case, the financial value cannot be recovered directly. In such cases, under special clause, the law enables the authorities to seize a different property owned by the perpetrator that has equal value. There's another special clause. Even if an individual is acquitted of a drug trafficking charge, under this law, it is still possible to confiscate properties obtained through such crimes. 2 days ago, we found a major drug smuggler in the south using a bank account belonging to a shaman to conduct business transactions worth about 330 million rupees within 9 to 10 months. Following that, we located 2 bank accounts through which over 1 billion rupees worth of transactions had been conducted. I don't think there is any other law in Sri Lanka as powerful as this. Maximum power has been granted to the police, but do not abuse it. Use it for the betterment of the public and to establish the rule of law in the country. The public must feel that the law is being enforced. The public should also feel that punishments fit the crime. Even if there are no new laws, I believe we can suppress organized crime and smuggling of narcotics to a certain extent through this act. This nation has lost a great amount of wealth. Even though we have obtained $8 billion in project loans, we only have assets worth less than $2 billion. What happened to the other $6 billion worth of assets? Someone has acquired them. We can retrieve them through this act. Certain individuals financially benefited through the central bank bond scam. I believe those investigations can be made more efficient through this division.
Motorists in the southern province can pay traffic spot fines through GovPay from today. The police stated that it is working to expand this facility island-wide by the end of the year.
A pilot project was launched in April by the government and several partner agencies to enable online payment of police-issued traffic fines via the government's online payment platform GovPay. The pilot project included 14 police stations from Kurunagala to Anuradhapura, and the second phase was launched in July for the Western Province. In the latest phase launched today, the GovPay online spot fine payment system was made available in the Southern Province.
Within just 2 months, over 20,000 spot fines have been paid by this platform in the Western Province and the stretch from Dambulla to Anuradhapura. The GovPay spot fine payment system is operational in the Southern Province from today, and more than 400 mobile phones have been issued to police stations in the area. A temporary license is issued when someone is fined for a violation. At that moment, the offender can choose to pay the fine through GovPay. They can use their mobile banking apps or any fintech app to make the payment. The app will ask for a telephone number to be entered. The number that has to be entered is that of the mobile phone carried by the officer issuing the fine. Once the payment is completed, the officer receives an SMS alert confirming the transaction. The original license will then be returned. That is the procedure. Next, we plan to launch this service in the Northern Province. Following that, it will be introduced to other districts. By December 31st this year, we aim to implement this system island-wide.
Yadia T5 scooter samaga angal 32 LED TV එකක් නොමිලේ.
The World Education Fair 2025 entrance free. Register now.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa claims that government mismanagement has led to a severe shortage of teachers and the closure of schools across the country. He made this claim during an event in Nochiagama today.
The opposition leader's mobile service program was held today at the historic Sri Bodhirukkarama temple in Dunumadalawa, Nochiagama, under the patronage of opposition leader Sajith Premadasa.
Today, as I sat here listening to the concerns being raised, I couldn't help but feel as though these issues were being presented to President Sajith Premadasa. There are only 9 teachers available in a school that should have 18, yet I have no authority to resolve the teacher shortage. In the past, we emphasized the importance of teaching English to children to a high standard. We advocated for the introduction of computing, modern technologies and artificial intelligence into the curriculum. But when we made those proposals, some laughed at us. The very faction which mocked our ideas now governs the country. Those who attempted to tarnish our reputation when we proposed education reforms are now in power, and instead of developing schools, they are implementing a program to shut them down. Grant the power of the North Central Provincial Council to the Samagijana Balawegaya, and we vow to uplift and develop the education system instead of closing schools.
Leader of Sarva Jana Balaya parliamentarian Dilith Jayavira says that the country can only be developed by transforming the mindset of the youth. Jayavira made this comment while speaking at the party's youth forum today.
The Youth Forum of the Sarojana Balaya was held this evening under the patronage of Sarojana Balaya leader Tillit Jayavira. In the past, youth clubs affiliated with various political parties were formed with different objectives in mind. However, our party has established its youth club with a clear focus to promote the welfare and progress of the country's youth. Today, we have not gathered you here to rally support for any presidential candidate. Instead, we invite everyone to unite in fostering an environment that nurtures the growth and the development of our youth. It is crucial that we prioritize educating young people about this vision. This is the only sustainable path forward. Notably, the idea of an entrepreneurial state has already been embraced by several developed nations as a strategy for growth. Our primary goal is to inspire transformation in the mindset of our youth. In the past, politicians often distributed material goods like sports equipment to youth in rural areas. While these gestures may have offered temporary joy, they did little to cultivate lasting positive thinking or empower young minds. Take for example, gifting someone a volleyball. Yes, it brings happiness. But once that volleyball is lost, they must depend on someone else to replace it. Sarojana Balaya, on the other hand, seeks to instill empowering ideas, the kind of thinking that enables people to find solutions, take initiative and build a better future without dependence. Despite my reluctance, let's take a look at India. At one point, India too faced challenges very similar or perhaps even worse than ours. But India's youth were uplifted by strong motivational and developmental strategies. This helped them unlock their potential and reimagine their future. Our youth must adopt a success-oriented mindset. They need to see joining Sarojana Balaya not as mere political alignment but as an opportunity for personal and collective growth.
මේ වෙනකොට අපි දකිනවා ජාතිකත්වය ටාගට් කරලා බොහොම දරුණු විදිහට පහර ගහනවා. ඊට එරෙහිව විවසායකත්ව රාජ්‍ය ඇතුලේ මොන වගේ ප්‍රවාදද පාවිච්චි කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ කියලා. ෆවුන්ඩේෂන් එක.
We firmly believe that nationalism is the foundation of everything. An entrepreneurial state as envisioned by Sarojana Balaya cannot exist without a strong sense of national identity. One of the core issues we face today is the loss of creativity. As a nation, we were part of a civilized and historic culture with a unique vision and identity. Yet somewhere along the way, we have lost the creative spark that once defined us. Everyone here has the capacity for creativity, and it is through creative thinking that we can revive and reframe nationalism not as an outdated idea but as a modern force for innovation and unity.
With that, here's a look at more thoughts shared in the political arena today.
Many foreigners, including Chinese, Russian and Lithuanian nationals, have arrived in the country and started operating an online loan scheme. According to certain reports, over 1.5 million people have fallen victim to this fraudulent scheme. These individuals offer online loan ranging from 1,000 to 250,000 rupees. For example, if someone takes a 1,000 rupee loan, they are required to repay it within 7 days along with an interest of 1,200 rupees. For a 5,000 rupee loan, borrowers must pay 3,800 rupees in interest each week. These foreign operators are exploiting the ongoing liquidity crisis in the country. Currently, around 50 such companies are registered under the Companies Act. However, under the Banking Act number 30 of 1988, only licensed foreign banks are permitted to engage in fund exchanges. No other foreign entities are allowed to do so. According to last year's data from the Department of Census and Statistics, there are 5.2 million families in Sri Lanka and 4.3 million have applied for Aswasuma welfare benefits. This suggests that around 83% of the population suffers from what can be called a beggar's mentality. A mindset prompts people to constantly beg for money. Our nation is only economically impoverished, it also lacks mental resilience. Former leaders and politicians have promoted the notion that the public must always care for them. Unknowingly, we have created a society that aligns with this kind of political thinking. If we do not break free from this mindset, we cannot progress as a nation.
When
NPP parliamentarians are questioned on their salaries and allowances and whether they contribute them to their party, their response is that it's none of the opposition's business. For instance, when they receive a 100,000 rupee allowance, it is officially categorized as an office allowance. However, if they do not use the allowance for official purposes and instead contribute it to their party fund, that constitutes a misuse of public funds. We have already reported this issue to the Bribery Commission.
අපි මේ ගැන දැනටමත් අල්ලස් කොමිසමට පැමිණිලි කර තිබෙනවා.
Welcome back to First at 9. Now, following a discussion with President Anura Dissanayake today, the Federation of University Teachers Associations warned of strict trade union action if the government fails to resolve issues within the state university system. Meanwhile, the Ceylon Bank Employees Union also met the President today to discuss issues within the banking system and present proposals for consideration in the upcoming budget.
The Federation of University Teachers Associations met with President Anura Dissanayake today at the Presidential Secretariat to discuss critical issues within the state university system. Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education, Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, also participated in the meeting. During the meeting, the President instructed representatives of the Federation to prepare and submit a plan to expedite the completion of degree programs while maintaining their quality and to enhance research and development activities. President Dissanayake also pledged that the government would provide the necessary facilities to implement the proposed plan. Attention was also given to measures for recruiting and retaining university lecturers and staff. Following the meeting, the General Secretary of the Federation stated that the discussion was constructive but warned of strict trade union action if their issues are not resolved. In the meantime, the Ceylon Bank Employees Union also arrived at the Presidential Secretariat today for a discussion with the President. It was reported that the President was informed of issues within the banking system and 23 proposals were presented for consideration in the upcoming budget.
The Disaster Management Centre reports 3 fatalities so far, with nearly 600 persons in 3 districts severely affected by prevailing extreme weather. Meanwhile, the Department of Meteorology forecasts the current low-level atmospheric disturbance east of the island may intensify into a low-pressure system within the next 24 hours, potentially bringing heavy rainfall exceeding 100 millimeters to several provinces.
Persistent and widespread rainfall was recorded across the island over the past several days. The highest rainfall of 117.4 millimeters within the past 24 hours was recorded from the Avisaville area. This weather pattern is attributed to the activation of the northeast monsoon coupled with a developing low-level atmospheric disturbance southeast of the island. As rainfall continued unabated, sluice gates of several reservoirs were opened to manage rising water levels, resulting in localized flooding and disruption of normal life in many areas. 8 spill gates of the Rajangane reservoir and 2 each of the Angamu and Kalawava reservoirs have been opened in the Anuradhapura district. In the Kurunagala district, 6 sluice gates of Daduruwe remain open, while the Polgola reservoir in Kandy is releasing water through 4 sluice gates. The opening of 3 sluice gates at the Alikotara reservoir resulted in flooding of the Veval Kandura-Vallavaya road. As per the latest reports, both Daduruwe and Mahoya have reached maximum water levels, prompting further flood warnings. In Surya Godaperadaniya, a 53-year-old man tragically lost his life when a large mound of earth collapsed on him as he walked near a canal. Despite local residents' efforts to rescue him, he was found dead after 30 minutes of searching. Meanwhile, in Magammane in Karavanalla, another man lost his life after slipping and falling into a swollen canal while attempting to cross a bridge. As adverse weather conditions persisted, landslides were reported in several regions, causing damages to homes and infrastructure. In the Anuradhapura district, severe lightning and heavy downpours led to power outages, particularly in the Katiyavayayatu area of Eppavala. In the meantime, a landslide that occurred yesterday afternoon in the Ihalakot area severely disrupted the operations of the upcountry railway line, damaging a section of a train travelling from Kandy to Colombo. Rail access between Kadigamu and Balana remains blocked as the affected area is currently inaccessible due to the unstable terrain caused by an earth collapse. As a result, a number of train services including the Podimanike and Uraratamanike scheduled for today were also cancelled. Additionally, 18 train journeys including the 8:30 p.m. mail train to Colombo Fort have been called off. Looking ahead to tomorrow morning, 4 early train services have also been suspended. In a separate incident, a train en route from Colombo to Avisavelle was derailed between Koskam and Avisavelle yesterday afternoon. The derailment was caused by a landslide and a fallen tree obstructing the tracks. However, as of this morning, railway maintenance crews successfully cleared the debris and restored operations on the Kalani Valley line. Against this backdrop, the National Building Research Organisation issued landslide warnings for multiple areas across 9 districts. The Department of Meteorology also anticipates the persisting heavy rainfall exceeding 100 millimeters to continue tomorrow in the western Sabaragamuwa, central, northwestern, southern and northern provinces tomorrow. Issuing an amber advisory for strong winds and rough seas, the Natural Hazards Early Warning Centre urged naval and fishing communities not to venture into sea until further notice. In its latest update, the Disaster Management Centre reports that 585 individuals from 144 families in the northwestern, north central and southern provinces have been affected by the ongoing extreme weather conditions.
Upon interrogation, underworld figure Gampaha Baba has revealed that the stock of live T-56 ammunition recovered in Kerawalapitiya was provided to him by underworld Don Kehelbaddara Padme for the murder of another criminal figure, Gampaha Osman. Meanwhile, 3 suspects arrested for allegedly aiding fugitive Ishara Sewandi evade authorities were remanded until the 24th of October.
Revelations by Ishara Sewandi, a key suspect in the murder of underworld figure Ganemula Sanjeeva within the half-stop court complex, led to the apprehension of 4 other suspects who allegedly sheltered and concealed information pertaining to the suspect from the authorities. The suspects include a police constable attached to the Aludgama police station, his mother-in-law, a businessman residing in Dodangoda, and a woman who allegedly aided underworld figure Matugama Shan. The mother-in-law of the police constable was produced before the Colombo Chief Magistrate's Court yesterday and was subsequently remanded until October 24th. The 3 remaining suspects held by the Colombo Crime Division were examined by the Judicial Medical Officer this morning and were later produced before the Colombo Additional Magistrate Nuwan Kaushalya, who ordered that the suspects to be remanded until October 24th. Meanwhile, revelations by Gampaha Baba, another suspect extradited alongside Sewandi, led to the recovery of around 50 T-56 live ammunitions concealed in a roadside drainage line near the Kerawalapitiya Expressway interchange. The suspect revealed that the ammunition was handed over to him by Kehelbaddara Padme when he was plotting the murder of another underworld figure named Gampaha Osman. He further revealed that Padme instructed him to hold on to the ammunition as they had to be returned upon Padme's request. Further investigations have uncovered that Gampaha Baba had been living in luxury rental houses while in Sri Lanka. Police suspect the rents were paid by Padme. Gampaha Baba is currently held by the Kalaniya Crime Division for further interrogation under a 90-day detention order under the Prevention of Terrorism Act. In the meantime, investigation officers stated that Ishara Sewandi will be held in Kilinochchi for further interrogation. Sewandi was transported to Kilinochchi last Saturday to inspect the locations she used as hideouts in the immediate aftermath of the murder of Ganemula Sanjeeva.
With that, here's a look at more local news across the island in brief.
Footage from a prison bus camera allegedly capturing the assault of Attorney at Law Sanjeeva Anthony by a police constable is now circulating on social media. The video appears to show Anthony's car at the scene where the incident took place at the Mount Lavinia Magistrates Court. Both the constable and Attorney at Law Gunaratna Vaninayaka, accused of obstructing police duties, have been released on bail, while court CCTV was found to be non-functional. Meanwhile, a 23-year-old Kalpitiya resident was arrested by the Vavuniya Divisional Criminal Investigation Bureau for involvement in a major drug distribution racket in the northern province. Authorities seized 359,000 illegal drug pills from his possession. The cab used for transporting the drugs was also taken into custody. The Medical and Civil Rights Commission has accused the Health Ministry of serious financial misconduct, alleging that 150 million rupees was misused under the guise of destroying substandard medicines. The Doctors' Trade Union Alliance filed a formal complaint with the Criminal Investigation Department today. An investigation into the alleged financial irregularities is now underway.
Welcome back to First at 9. Now, at the 2025 IMF World Bank annual meetings in Washington, D.C., Sri Lanka strongly advocated for clearer, more structured processes in commercial debt restructuring. The Sri Lankan delegation, led by Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, took part in several bilateral and multilateral meetings. Key discussions focused on boosting development cooperation in infrastructure, energy and digital transformation, with a push to secure new financing and technical assistance. Sri Lanka also called for more transparency in debt management, regular updates on bilateral deals and better guidance on liability management. Governor Veerasinghe met with senior leaders from the IMF, World Bank, US Treasury and other key stakeholders. At the Global Sovereign Debt Roundtable, Sri Lanka welcomed global efforts to tackle debt challenges and highlighted the country's own progress in restructuring the IMF program goals. The delegation also engaged with credit rating agencies and the US Chamber of Commerce. That's all for tonight from First at 9. Thank you for joining. Have a great night.